You wake up with your heart racing, convinced you've committed some unforgivable sin. Or maybe you've been out of your church for 5 years, but you still can't shake the feeling that you're being watched, judged, condemned. Here's a question that might change everything. What if it's not your fault? What if you're dealing with religious trauma? I'm going to walk you through the signs of religious trauma that mental health professionals say you absolutely shouldn't ignore. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to share the number one thing therapists say you need to start healing. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about mental health, trauma recovery, and finding your authentic self. If that sounds like something you need right now, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Today we're tackling a topic that affects millions but rarely gets talked about: religious trauma. And before anyone gets upset in the comments, this isn't about attacking anyone's faith. This is about recognizing when religious experiences have caused genuine psychological harm. So let's get into it. What is religious trauma? According to psychologist Dr. Marlene Winell, who literally coined the term religious trauma syndrome, this is the psychological damage that can happen when you've been part of a controlling, fear-based, or abusive religious environment. Here's what's important to understand. This isn't about religion being bad. Plenty of people find genuine comfort and community in faith. Religious trauma happens when teachings or practices use fear, shame, and control to manipulate people. And here's the thing that surprises most people. Religious trauma has the same symptoms as PTSD. We're talking intrusive thoughts, panic attacks, hypervigilance, the whole 9 yards. Alright, so how do you know if you have religious trauma? Let's go through the major signs. Sign number 1. Constant fear and anxiety. Do you have recurring thoughts about hell or divine punishment? Even though you've left your church or changed your beliefs, do you still panic when you see religious symbols or hear certain songs? That's your nervous system stuck in threat mode. Sign number 2. Deep shame about who you are. Were you taught that your natural thoughts, feelings, or desires were sinful? A lot of people with religious trauma carry this crushing shame about their bodies, their sexuality, or just being human. If you can't enjoy anything without feeling guilty, this might be why. Sign number 3. You can't make decisions. Here's a big one. Do you struggle to trust your own judgment? People raised in environments where questioning was discouraged often end up unable to make choices without overwhelming anxiety. You're always second-guessing yourself, waiting for someone to tell you what's right. Sign number 4. Black and white thinking. Everything is all good or all bad. You're either perfect or you're a complete failure. There's no middle ground. This rigid thinking comes from religious environments with strict rules about right and wrong, and it makes life incredibly difficult. Sign number 5. Your body keeps the score. This one's fascinating and terrifying. Religious trauma lives in your body. Chronic pain with no medical cause. Digestive issues. Sexual dysfunction, especially if you grew up in purity culture. Your body literally remembers the trauma even when your mind tries to move on. And here's sign number 6, the one that really gets overlooked. Sign number 6. You lost everything when you left. If questioning your faith meant losing your entire social network, your family relationships, your sense of identity. That's not normal religious disagreement. That's a high-control environment. And the grief from that? It's real trauma. Now, who's most vulnerable to religious trauma? Kids raised in these environments are at the highest risk because they can't critically evaluate what they're being taught. It gets wired into their developing brains. LGBTQ+ individuals who were told their identity was sinful often experience the most severe trauma. Being told that who you are at a fundamental level is wrong, that creates devastating psychological conflict. Women in patriarchal religious structures, people who experience spiritual abuse from leaders, anyone who was manipulated or controlled in the name of God, you're all at risk. And if you're sitting there thinking, but my experience wasn't that bad, stop right there. Trauma isn't a competition. If it affected you, it's valid. Okay, here's the good news. Healing is possible. The number one thing therapists say you need? Find a therapist who specifically understands religious trauma. Not just any therapist, someone trained in this. Because regular therapy approaches don't always work for the specific ways religious trauma affects your brain. Look for therapists who use trauma-focused methods like EMDR or somatic experiencing. These help your nervous system process what happened so you're not constantly reliving it. Second, find your people. Online communities, support groups, friends who've been through similar experiences. The validation alone is incredibly healing. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You experienced something real, and it makes sense that it affected you. Third, give yourself permission to deconstruct. Question everything you were taught. Decide for yourself what you believe. Some people rebuild their faith in a healthier way. Others leave religion entirely. Both paths are completely valid. This is your journey. And finally, reconnect with your body. Practices like yoga, mindfulness, or just learning to identify what you're feeling can help you rebuild the self-trust that trauma destroyed. Here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're asking yourself, do I have religious trauma? That question itself matters. Trust what you're feeling. Your experience is valid, your pain is real, and healing is absolutely possible. Drop a comment and let me know, what's one thing you wish people understood about religious trauma? And if this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, you're not broken. You're healing.